What's going on, guys? My name is Chris Holacek. This is another session of Holo Sessions, and today's topic is getting close to God. As I mentioned in my last video, a couple of those ways that I personally do that is through fasting or, like I'm doing now, hiking. But, there's other ways to do it. You don't have to go down some deep country road to where there's no service and to find a place to get away from people and stuff to try to get close to God. You can do that in your own backyard, really. If you have a backyard. If not, go to a park. One of the ways I've found is a good way to get close to God is grounding. And what do I mean by that? I mean by go find some grass, like your backyard, and walk barefoot. And do that for like 5 minutes or so. I guarantee your mood's gonna feel a lot better. Assuming the weather permits it. But if you're like me, you really want to get something done, you'll get done no matter what the weather is. But that's for any of y'all that are adrenaline junkies like me. Yeah, just grounding, and grass is preferable, but find some woods, and be careful about ticks and snakes and all that. But if you can get away from them, try hiking barefoot. And just don't tear your feet up too much. That, and don't mean to sound hippie here, but go touch a tree, just touch it for a couple minutes, or even hug a tree if you feel obliged to that. And you'll actually feel a lot better doing that. And just separating yourself, just getting with all the animals and stuff. I know some people find peace close to God, hunting. Some say, killing a living being, is not godly, but, it comes to you're getting your food for the day. That's definitely, it's a necessity. We got to eat. So, I know I've been hunting with a bunch of my buddies back home, and, especially when you're hunting on an empty stomach, and it's like, the sun is rising or sun is setting. You're just sitting out there. It heightens your senses. You're in fasting mode, and it makes you want to go find food a lot better. It's like you need it more now at that point. So your senses are going to lead you to, whatever animal you're trying to kill for food. Not just hunting, obviously, but, just interacting with nature in general, I feel like is a great way to get close to God. Now, if you're raised in the city, maybe that's where you feel close to God. It's all you know, and you like being around a bunch of people. It's really what feels the most familiar to you. I think that's where God likes to talk to you. Stuff from our childhood, if it was, whether it was good or bad, stuff that's familiar. I feel like that's where God speaks to us the most. And He knows better than we do. Some of our favorite things and some of the things that, resonate with us the most. I know for me, being out in the woods, I grew up down a 7-mile dirt road down the swamps of eastern North Carolina. And, I feel the most at home, the most at peace when I'm away from people, when I'm here just by myself with nature. I feel more comfortable around, honestly, around bears and bobcats than I would around some people. Like, it's what Steve Irwin said this. Animals are predictable. They're either they want to eat you or they're protecting their territory. It's plain and simple. Whereas people, you don't always know their intentions. You don't know if they're really your friend or if they're trying to stab you, behind your back, figuratively speaking. Yeah, that's personally why I like the woods better. I don't like being here forever. I do like to go out and interact with people, obviously, and, do music, do my job, and, hang with friends and, positive people that are gonna, uplift me or, just spread good vibes with me wherever I go. Not none of the negative people, but, at the same time, this is personally recharging for me, being away out in the wilderness, deep out in the mountains. Yeah, and if anybody wants to know, I'm in the Ozarks right now in Arkansas, northwest Arkansas, right by Bentonville, the Walmart headquarters. So yeah, it's my first time hiking this trail here, and it's beautiful. But anyways, yeah, of course, getting closer to God too. Back to that subject, going to church, reading the Bible, or if you're not a Christian, you're into Judaism or Muslim or Buddhist or whatnot, just whatever your respective scripture is that you read, whatever book or whatever teachings make you feel whole and complete, go to that. I'm not one to say which one to follow. That's between you and God, or whatever you call God. And I know that might be a little controversial to some of my fellow Christians, but I've traveled way too much of this world to think there's one way of doing things. And I spread my word, for God and Jesus and all that to anybody who wants to hear it. But I'm not going to force that down anybody's throat that doesn't want to hear that. So yeah, I help people that want to be helped when it comes to that. And I know anybody viewing my channel right now probably thinks the same way. Yeah, that and just spending time with family. If you have a positive family, and it doesn't have to be a blood family, it could be your adopted family or your best friends, people again that uplift you, the people that make you the best you when you're around them. I feel like that's getting close to God. God speaks through those people that you trust the most, especially when there's a tough lesson you need to hear and you're not getting it, you're being stubborn. God a lot of times will speak through those people that are closest to you. People that aren't afraid to tell you some tough news that you maybe don't want to hear, but you need to hear. I feel like that's God speaking to you at times. And yeah, it's good to have those people around. If somebody's always nice to you, never saying anything bad, never telling, ways that you can improve yourself, they're probably not a real friend. Or you're not close enough to them. It's those people that will speak up when they need to speak up. Those are the ones that care about you the most. It took me a long time to figure that out, but now at this point in my life, I highly respect them. I'm thankful for those people. But yeah, just hanging out with friends and family, that's definitely another way. And then I'd say the fifth way to do it is doing your life passion. Whatever you're put on this earth to do, you feel deep down inside God created you for, doing that. I know for me, playing guitar, creating content online, or playing live shows, that fills my soul the most. I feel closest to God when doing that as well. When you're doing the gift that He gave you. Yeah, there's no way I can describe it through words. You just feel, I guess, whole and complete when you do it. And especially when it's helping other people out, doing that gift. It's nothing that compares to that. There's no substance or drug that could ever bring you that kind of happiness and fulfillment that a purpose would, your life purpose. And I know traveling's also another one of mine too, besides music. And I'm one of those kind of guys that if I'm home for longer than a month, I start getting cabin fever, need to go somewhere. Now, obviously, through time, once I end up settling down with somebody and having kids, that might change. Well, if anything, I would bring them with me at that point. But I just know traveling, that music, they both run my DNA. My dad's the same way. You can go all the way, my great grandma, we were all nomads. We can't stay one place too long. So, just knowing yourself and knowing the reasons God put you on this earth and staying aligned to that is honestly the best way to do it. And that's one of the best ways to connect to God. But those are, anytime you feel lost and you just got so many questions that need answering, just do one of those 5 things that I said there, and you should get back on track pretty quickly. as my spiritual doctor prescription for you to getting right. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please do like and subscribe to my channel. It helps me get the message out to more and more people. And with that, my name is Chris Holacek, and Holla is Hollin' out.